Let's go. Today with another video, and if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell, that way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Disney Star Wars once again. So this has been apparently a thing for quite some time, especially on the internet. In real life, it's not as bad, but it's a very apparent thing on the internet where people will literally try to tell you that you're a ist or a phobe if you don't actually like a show. Back in the day, when you talk about anything, whether it be a movie, a TV show, anime like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon was like the big ones back in the day, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece later on, anything, comic books, right? Novels that you guys like. When people had discussions about those things, it was like, hey, I like Vegeta. Someone would go, I like Piccolo more. All right, cool. Now we're buddies. We just start talking more. Nowadays, it would be like, hey, I didn't like this black lesbian actress. Oh, you must hate black people. And it's like, bro, what if I just don't actually like her acting and I think she just sucks? No, you're a racist. What the? I'm not shitting you people. On the internet now, there are people who will try to tell you that you are an instaphobe for not liking a show, not because you think the writing's bad or anything, but because you didn't like the person of color actress that they put there. People literally think if you don't like the woman a part of it, you're a misogynist, sexist, blah, 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 blah. And it's really apparent with Disney Star Wars, actually. So as people know, I wasn't really that interested in Star Wars growing up. It was actually for a bunch of nerd losers because I was obviously a Chad that like anime and Power Rangers like that. I'm just kidding, guys. But, you know, for me personally, I was never really into Star Wars all that much. We did a project for it back in 2021 when I had my main bigger channel when I was really popular. And I went through the originals. I really like those. I think they're really, really good. One of the best movie trilogies ever made, in my opinion. I watched the prequels, and I'm just being honest here. I've thought long and hard about them. They are not good. Those aren't good movies at all. The third one is okay. It's like okay. But I'm being honest with people, if I like Star Wars and I was around when the prequels came out, I was in the franchise, like growing up with it, I wouldn't have liked them. They are a huge downgrade compared to the originals. Now, I'm not saying that the Disney movies are better, but these aren't good either. Like, that's what I'm saying. Neither of them are good, okay? I would say the Disney stuff is worse because there's less iconic stuff in there. Just everything is worse in the Disney ones, but I don't like the prequel ones either. But then, when it came to the shows now, because the Disney, imagine a world with people, Star Wars, one of the biggest IPs ever, is now relegated to streaming television shows. They started this with Mandalorian, really popular. They were like, hey, lightning's got to strike here, right? And I checked out two of the shows. I checked out Boba Fett, or sorry, I should say the Book of Boba Fett. That single-handedly might have been one of the worst fucking TV shows that I have ever seen in my life. That show stinks. Then I saw Obi-Wan, and I literally told people back when I had my main channel, when I was really popular, I said, if this show sucks, I'm never watching anything from this franchise ever again, and I'm only just going to read Darth Vader comics. Or any comics that they made back in the day that came after like those the original trilogy. Only just comics. I literally told people, after Obi-Wan, if this sucks, I'm just going straight Star Wars comics. That's it. I'm done. And guess what? Obi-Wan fucking sucks. Andor came out. Apparently a lot of people liked it or whatever. But now we're at this point where the access media are blaming fans. You know? People always say, you guys are just making that up. I'll show you right now. Collider is one of the biggest access media places. So like access media would be like Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Screen Rant, Collider, IndieWire, I wouldn't really call Fandom Wire access media, but I guess, you know, there's always like tiers to this. The big three are obviously Variety, Hollywood Reporter, and Deadline. Then you have like your tier 2, then you have your tier 3. Collider's probably upper echelon tier 2, actually. So the Acolyte has dropped. I'm not watching that dog shit show. I've seen people. It's not. That looks like crap. I wouldn't waste my time watching that. Now, I told people this before. I do movie franchise projects. Will I eventually watch it and review it in order with everything else? Sure, at some point, but this is not like must-see TV right now where I have to drop everything to watch it. And everything about this show's discourse is only about the cast. The problem with these shows, nobody ever talks about what is actually the problem in the shows. Lore breaking stuff, okay? Constantly. Acting is terrible. Pacing is bad. Dialogue is shit. Music score is bad, okay? Emotional moments suck. Lightsaber battles stink, okay? The same thing happens with the Disney Marvel shows. Everything I just said about Star Wars shows happens for Marvel shows. Whenever you finish these shows, it's just like, oh, well, that was just kind of meh. You could have just not watched, you could just binge it if that's what's going to be the case with every single one of these shows. And right now, I will show you guys what we're going to be covering in this video. Oh, hey, that's my new sequel coming out called Beep, directed by Jordan Peele. Collider, Star Wars.
That's going to be a real Jordan Peele movie too. What is that? What do they call that? Like the hallway buzzard or something?
Star Wars' biggest problem is the fan. And people always tell us, they're not blaming the fans. You're just reading too much into it, dog. You don't know what you're saying, dude. You're just a right-wing conspiracy theorist, dog. Just trust me, bro. Kathleen Kennedy wants to just choke on my cock, bro. It's like, dude, you're a moron. So here we go.
Fuck these people.
Star Wars projects have been facing relentless online hate and criticism, impacting performers and creators. What the fuck? Online hate and criticism. Yeah, online hate. Not people critiquing the show. And I love the criticism that people always say when they're like, well, if you don't like it, why don't you just watch? If your literal YouTube career is critiquing media, especially new stuff that comes out, because new stuff always grabs more views than older stuff. Contrary to popular belief, most people want you to talk about the newest thing because they want to know if it's good enough for them to watch. And they kind of do this thing now where they trust the content creator to tell them if it's good or not. I'm in this camp where I'll watch whatever I want. I don't have to have someone tell me if something's good or not. Even if it is bad by their opinion, I'll go check it out myself. Maybe I might think differently. But everyone's different, and that's fine, right? But to say that it's hate to criticize something is so beyond cringe. I don't get that. You're spreading hate to who? The actors that are in a Disney live action Star Wars show.
Fuck those millionaires. You'd care less.
Like, it's ridiculous. Modern Star Wars projects have expanded the universe with diverse representation, but also weather backlash in the process. Back then, Star Wars had diverse representation. They had black people, Mexican people, quite literally quite a ton of races were in Star Wars before, you know? Disney makes it apparent to put race as the forefront of anything. They just do. And then when people don't like it, or these characters aren't good, the shield for them is that, well, you just don't like black people. And it's like, bro, this is stupid. Just retarded. The future of Star Wars should be focused on representation and inclusivity, overcoming toxic elements in the fandom.
Nobody will ever watch that. Ever. That isn't Star Wars. That's just them saying, make a series about the message, please. And we want the message. This message is going to be about spreading diversity through killing the fans of this IP. Let's see how we can do that. Let's workshop how we can drive more people out of this by making this have absolutely nothing to do with the core meaning, content, and ideals and idea of the original IP, and making shit up, poorly written. Not even you don't, when you don't hire people on merit, you cast them based on immutable characteristics. This is the kind of television that you get. That's what you actually promote. When you don't promote the best, you don't get the best. When you don't promote a well-written show, when good writing isn't what you promote, it's your promotion is DEI, is the message is, oh, you have this immutable characteristic. I'm going to give you a really important job to do this thing that you're not at all qualified to do. I'm going to go do heart surgery next week after I declare that I'm trans. If they tell me I can't be a fucking doctor, they're bigots. Fuck them. I want that paycheck
Keep
too.
in mind, the most popular Mace Windu, one of the most popular characters in the franchise, is portrayed by Samuel Jackson. He's black. Okay, James Earl Jones voices Darth Vader. He's black. Just 2 examples of those right there. Okay, at the forefront of the franchise. Okay, Darth Vader literally is one of the main characters of the franchise. But those things don't matter because they just want to ignore those things to promote their new bullshit message to you. Or propaganda that they love black people, which they secretly don't. But, sorry. Oh, God. I said the quiet part out loud.
Purple. That's what they do. That's how they feel about it. That's what they're thinking.
The internet has never made it easy for people to speak their minds.
You fucking retarded? That's all it does. That's absolutely what the internet is there for. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're constantly doing. That's what fans are doing. Fans are going on here.
They don't accept that.
Their mind. They watched it. They said it sucks. It isn't
they don't want fans to speak their minds.
For you to say whatever the fuck you want.
They want fans to have their
consequences of it.
Convenience of digital connection aside, there have always been online trolls and toxic comments ready to pounce on anyone who dares to battle their authentic self in public life.
Yeah.
And the newest round of controversies and unfounded criticisms directed at Star Wars projects demonstrates that
They're always saying that it's unfounded. The fuck it isn't.
Oh, what are we reading? This is horse shit. Who got paid to write this?
Horse shit. Someone with cum on their fingernails.
Star Wars projects demonstrates that Star Wars projects demonstrates that the beloved sci-fi franchise is no different. For decades, viewers have been relentlessly attacking Star Wars performers and creators with the renewed push against TV shows like The Acolyte, demonstrating the venom with a particular set of audience members scrutinize everyone's favorite galaxy. This just might be the dumbest fucking paragraph I've ever read from one of these companies. And hey, I'll give them due when they make a good article. I will be the first one to say you did a good job of reporting this news. Guys, this is all bullshit. What this person is basically telling you is that if you dislike a Mexican female actress that might be a part of Star Wars, and if you don't like her acting, not her as a person, not her race, not anything about her other than the actual job she's doing, which is acting, you are the problem. So basically, if you criticize anything, you're a problem. That just might be the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my entire life. And remember,
how dare you?
Apparently, people on YouTube have no opinion whatsoever. They have no impact on anything. But then they call you troll and call you toxic. And they can't just wait to reference you in every single article they write. So what is it? Do they have impact or do they not? What is it? Tell me what it is.
They
do
don't
they
know.
Have impact or do they not?
The point. They literally don't know.
They wrote that for clicks.
That's
I think in a Forbes article or a Wired one of the paragraphs, I think Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers went over it. He said, he read it out and it said something like this. I'm paraphrasing, but this is mostly what it said. Which one of those dudes with a good microphone are you going to listen to? Obviously, we know who you're talking about. Just start saying names. Stop being pussies. Exactly. We know who you're talking about. If you're gonna say things like that, let's put your fucking let's put your feet to the fire and say who it is. Just stop doing that. If you're gonna not like their opinions, because you have your right to do that for whatever reason, it's stupid, but it's your reason. They say who it is. But you guys realize that if you say who it is, you yourself would give them a bigger audience because you know the impact of their videos and what they say has meaning. The vitriol of these persistent voices has subsequently spread throughout the internet, making it feel impossible to say anything positive about Star Wars without turning every discussion into a heated debate. That's been happening for nerd culture for years. Nerds debate on stupid stuff in heated arguments. Me and Tiny, I think we had heated arguments over Henry Cavill acting in Superman.
Yeah, it was over which one of you was going to blow him harder.
I mean, that's probably going to be me.
You were both arguing that it was going to be you, because Tiny isn't going to do that, but it was definitely you arguing.
I'm
Are you
just
going to
pointing
blow him
out.
harder, or are you going to blow him harder?
I'm just pointing out. People still debate who's stronger, Goku or Superman. Those always get in
You're
heated
baiting.
debates. This literally has been a thing with nerd culture forever. This has just only happened with Star Wars. And I and that's the thing is there anything positive to say about Star Wars? There might be. I'm not saying there isn't. I've checked out a while ago, but I want to say this. People that only want to talk about positives in something want an echo chamber generally. Like, look at us here. We have a group of people where we disagree with a lot, but we don't like hate each other for it. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. It's just like how life used to be. Like, oh, okay, that's fine. It's cool. I'm just saying, like,
Well,
it's ridiculous that no, you if you want to talk positive with something, you can, and someone should say, okay, awesome. Now I'll get to say my problems with something. I don't know why you people just constantly want this weird echo chamber for yourself. It's so fucking cringe. The unacceptable abuse that Star Wars prequel era actors like Ahmed Best received from fans in the late 90s and early 2000s has all been well documented. And since then, negative Star Wars voices have only amplified by the mainstream spread of social media. Leslie Headland's groundbreaking series has been relentlessly review bombed online, causing The Acolyte to possess a huge disparity between its positive critical reception and abysmal audience score on aggregate websites like Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so we literally went through those reviews. There are people in the negative camp that literally said they went out of their way to make an account to say how bad the show is. These people that would never do this for anything else, but they said it was so bad, I had to talk about it. It was that bad to them. If people go and actually read the online criticism on Rotten Tomatoes for the actual negative portion of it from the audience side, you'll understand what the general sentiment is. They're just pointing out that it's getting review bombed to make it look like that a bunch of people just hated Leslie Headland so much that they went over there and they just fucking just wanted to ruin a show. Not true. It's not true at all. And she's stupid herself. She's dumb herself. But that's
there's
not what happened.
there's plenty of people that hate her because she's terrible. She's, Harvey Weinstein's. She's the woman that ferried other women into Harvey Weinstein's bedroom to get humped on by a fat guy, and so they could get movie roles. So she is kind of a piece of shit. I'm assuming she got this particular show because she has dirt on a lot of people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
She isn't qualified for it. She isn't a good writer. She isn't a good person. She's a terrible person who has dark secrets that Hollywood does not want revealed. And they gave her a Star Wars show so she could get whatever fucking clout she feels she's getting from it. But she's not, because it's uniting more fans, more people. The fringe shills after this are even starting to see the cracks, or even seeing that no, this is bad. And so is so much more of it. Like, you go back and you reflect on the things you've been given, and you realize that you've got this progressive line of trash that's been constantly put out since the blip that was The Mandalorian season 1, until they leaned all the way the fuck into Grogu for that merch money. And hey, merch money's real, bro. Disney needed that merch money, literally.
Yeah.
And that's why you got Grogu'd out over the next 2 seasons. But she doesn't deserve. There is nothing else. It's progressively gotten worse. And Leslie Headlamp is literally the definition, the personification of everything wrong in Hollywood, in Disney, and with Star Wars.
People want to talk about nepotism with LeBron James and his son. She's the epitome of nepotism.
She's worse. LeBron James' son, heart attack aside, has skill, has earned it, has merit. Now, does he have a long career in the NBA after what happened with that injury he suffered from a thing we won't talk about on YouTube or on this channel? But he earned it. He was a great player all the way up through high school, headed towards college, and his dad was, one of the best players that's been around in the last few decades. So he got to spend a lot of time growing up with his dad, present in his life, showing him, like, do you want to be this? Do you want to be like me? Okay, well, this is how you do it. He got to train with probably one of the best people to play the game. Like, of course, his son is going to be that. Leslie Headlamp didn't learn shit. You know what she learned? You know who she was protege to? Protege to? A guy that sexually assaulted chicks in Hollywood. A lot of them quite willingly, so they could get roles in Hollywood. He basically was a fat slob with a lot of money that banged chicks to get roles in Hollywood. Some of them may have been good enough to deserve them. A lot of them weren't. What is Leslie Headlamp? The same thing. He may not have the power and money to bang a bunch of chicks to get roles in films. I'm sure she probably dabbled while she was hanging out with old Harvey. She's into chicks as well, as we all know. But she didn't deserve this. She's using basically blackmail over Hollywood, over people at Disney. Who knows who it is at Disney that has dark secrets she knows, but that's how she got this. She has no legitimate reason or body of work to prove that she could have been successful in this, and she hasn't been. She's lived up to the expectation that you can expect from somebody who only got this job, not even through nepotism, but basically through probably inferred blackmail from the amount of shit she knows about the people who were connected with Harvey Weinstein, who empowered him and who went along with it. And I'm not just talking about like people in the studios that let it go. I'm talking about the actors and actresses that basically got their start in Hollywood by being assaulted by him. And who ferried them into the room? She did.
Yeah,
Fuck her.
and
She's a disgusting piece of shit.
I want to point out the fact that Star Wars apparently has this thing for women now. Kathleen Kennedy has this thing for women, and she has a woman that potentially might have, like, I don't know, led women to getting essayed. Great company we have here, right? Since the majority of these hate-filled criticisms, why is that every single time a fan has
the hate
so,
at all
okay,
and the shit that I just said?
Why is that every single time someone has a criticism of anything, it's just hate-filled? What if it's just like, I'm just talking about how I feel about the show? What? My brain can't handle this shit.
You hate the show, not
you have hate in your heart.
Actors.
What the hell? You have people that are like, I don't like the show. Would you have hate in your heart? What are you, a fucking priest? What the hell? Since the majority of these hateful criticisms are either overreactions to alleged continuity errors, these aren't alleged. This has happened multiple times. Within the Star Wars universe, or backlash aimed at attacking the show's long overdue inclusivity, the bad actors spreading them are clearly spinning controversy out of nothing. And this manufactured outrage can be directly traced back to the demographics of the original trilogy. Wait a minute, hold on. Back then, the internet was not what it is, and people still had criticisms about Star Wars. Was that hate-filled back then? To some, it may be. To others, it was just people talking and criticizing Star Wars. Mostly after the prequel trilogy, because that trilogy isn't good at all. Were they all hate-filled people? The ones that didn't like the prequels? They all have hate in their hearts? They just didn't like it. They were like, fuck this, I want better shit. You know? Could be the same thing now. What if fans don't want dog shit? But remember, if you criticize, you're just a hate-filled heart person. Oh my goodness, look at this headline to start this off. Good lord. Given the franchise's current popularity, it's hard to believe there was ever a time when no one on Earth had ever watched one of George Lucas's Star Wars movies. The first film in the original trilogy, originally just titled Star Wars, upon its 1977 release, was shown to the public during a decade of classic hits like Steven Spielberg's Jaws in 1975. Man, where's all those hate-filled comments for Jaws? Oh wait, they don't exist, because it's a good product people liked. And Rocky in 1976. This was a time when Hollywood relied almost exclusively on traditional tropes to tell stories exclusively through a Eurocentric white male lens. Oh wow. Oh wow. What is it
It's
with these
almost too
dudes?
retarded, dude.
What is
It's
it with
making
these
me
dudes'
cringe
obsession
hard.
with white people? What is the obsession with this?
They want some WBC.
I just don't get it. This is beyond stupid. What the actual hell?
BWC. Sorry, I went the wrong way.
Oh, you're fine. Good. Fucking hell, man. Oh my lord. It's every single time they write stuff like this. Black people, Mexican people, Asian people were a part of Hollywood as well. They never mention this ever. There were black centered
Emotional damage.
There were black heroes, there were Hispanic heroes, there were Asian heroes. I just don't get it. Why these people are so obsessed with white people.
They want big white cock.
Do they want any dressing with that
Call
racist word salad? Hell yeah. I love racist word
Yes,
salads.
they do.
Protagonists
They want
were
dressing to
almost
be
always played
ranch.
up as ultra masculine tough guys, while supporting casts typically consisted of domestic female characters or problematic stereotypes. Oh my god. Oh, that's just so bad.
Problematic.
Problematic. Ah, white people problem.
Fucking retarded.
Oh
So many white
god.
people. What do I do? They're white.
Oh god. I love how he'll mention like great movies like these. These are just made by white people. Just saying, those problematic white people that you don't like, whoever fucking wrote this trash article, yeah, a white person made them. Actually, I think, if I'm being honest here, the best movies ever made in Hollywood come from white people. I got a problem with that because I'm not obsessed with race like a lot of people are. I don't think race really determines
Fuck
if you're
you.
a good or bad person at all,
Fuck you
really.
for not including Medea. How dare you? Tyler Perry.
And as films
Medea goes
released during
to
this,
YouTube.
and
Can't wait
as
for it to
films,
drop.
and as films released during this insulated time period, the original Star Wars movies are often construed as possessing a similarly narrow narrative focus. How did you what? Oh, okay. All right. Just this is it. Guys, if this wasn't for a video, I slash this shit right now because this is just actually just mind-blowingly so bad. Actually, it's just awful. Who wrote this? Who wrote this so I can never read anything this person ever writes ever again? A person named Cameron Bennett. Who the F is that? Guarantee it's pronouns and bios. Oh, wow. What the heck? Oh,
Yup.
God.
Pronouns everywhere. Like his picture is a pronoun.
What the heck? This is the guy that's writing this article. He's a contributor. Okay, I'll make sure to never read anything this guy ever puts out ever again.
He ain't contributing shit.
Despite taking place in a galaxy far, far away from the filmmaking conventions of Earth, Star Wars original trilogy features a mostly white cast. Who cares if it does? Who gives a fuck if it did? These are considered some of like the best movies ever made. Female characters with largely unrealized potential and no LGBTQ storylines depicted on screen. Because I'm not going to do it on YouTube. I got to mark my words here. Who cares about those people? Degenerate lifestyles promoted on screen. He didn't want that. And if he, and even if he, at first, oh, fucking hell, it's just so stupid.
Guys, I'm gay.
Who cares if there weren't any LGBTQ storylines depicted on screen? Who gives a fuck about those people? Good lord. While powerful female leaders like Mon Mothma and Carrie Fisher's iconic Princess Leia are outspoken forces for good in the trilogy, the latter's relationship with the Force and her father is glossed over in favor of her brother, and Leia's infamous bikini scene at Jabba's palace in Star Wars Return of the Jedi feels like fodder for a generation of male fantasies. Okay, maybe she didn't like dressing up like that, but we all did. I loved it. That's still an iconic thing to do to this day, is dress up like that. Yet the original trilogy's premise still feels magical to watch and provided formative memories for many of Star Wars older fans. creating such an impact on viewers' minds that many still consider the first 3 movies the definitive guide to the Star Wars experience. Unfortunately, this mindset's reliance on the original trilogy's outdated aesthetics severely limits the understanding of what a Star Wars story can be. Yeah, people went and watched movies not filled with bullshit and liked them. So yeah, let's just cram in a bunch of bullshit and make our movies better. Yeah, no, that's why they haven't been working, obviously. In the aftermath of the original trilogy's popularity, Star Wars broadened its appeal to accommodate an entirely new generation of fans to the franchise. The prequels, Queen Padme, played by Natalie Portman, made up for the original movie's oversight by showcasing a powerful fictional queen whose bravery and political wisdom competed with the likes of Count Dooku, portrayed by Christopher Lee, and then Chancellor Palpatine, played by Ian McDiarmid, and the introduction of Ahsoka, portrayed by Ashley Eckstein. In 2007, Star Wars The Clone Wars gave younger viewers a powerful heroine to grow up with. Increased efforts at telling diverse Star Wars stories came when Disney purchased Lucasfilm in 2012, though many of the Mouse House's Star Wars releases have been marred by online hate. These movies aren't good! What online hate are you talking about? This is ridiculous.
Hate is always, they try to make shit up, but they'll nitpick. But the real people who are being really critical of this, the people who are doing honest criticism, are the ones who are pointing out the problems with the plot, who are pointing out the problems with continuity. And if you want to have an IP, an intellectual property, there's something about an intellectual property. It has a definition. It has main characters. It has important things that go on in it that are part of the lore, that are part of the ongoing story, that are part of the existing story. You don't just get to fuck shit up and make shit up all the way through it. Then it isn't part of this. You don't have an IP anymore. You're just using, it's like saying that, it would be like saying that Unreal 5 is a video game. And that's what they see it as. It's like saying that a graphics engine is a whole fucking game. And they think that Star Wars, they're thinking of it in the aspect of it's a giant open world playground where there's nothing defined. It's a video game 3D engine like Unreal 5. And that's what Star Wars is. When no, Star Wars isn't a film playground. It is a defined fucking story with defined fucking characters, with a past, a present, a future. Like, there've been stories told all over the spectrum of Star Wars. All of these things existed. Even in original continuity, even in the shit that Disney didn't nuke because it was too hard for them to read all the books, because they weren't hiring people who could read anymore. They're not even hiring people who can fucking write anymore. They're just hiring people that they have cast to fit the role of DEI employee number X1354. Oh, you've met this particular regulation in our company culture. Thanks for coming on. You know, they just basically light the resume on fire and fucking say, go on in. Here's $100,000. You know, this is your money for the year, probably not even the year, like for the fucking month. Take this. Here's a budget of $10 million for your first episode. Just go do it. There you go. That's great. And here you go. And just, we want it to say, blah, 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 the message, capitalism bad, down with the patriarchy, up with the butt sex, and yay. I'm sorry. Nobody fucking hates on the actors. We hate on the stupid message. We hate on the oversimplification of what was a complex and interesting story. We hate that you need to insert sexuality where it isn't needed or wanted. We don't give a fuck. We literally don't fucking care where you put your genitals. I don't have a problem with gay, bi, whatever the 15,000 pronouns are these days.
The only stuff I really just draw the line at is the true stuff. I just draw a line at the trans stuff. That's where I got to draw.
Well, leave children the fuck alone for fucking sure, dude. Leave kids the fuck alone. Even the White House said it. Thanks.
Mhm.
It's the end of Pride. The White House came in and said, "Oh shit, we're losing. Tell them to stop cutting the kids up, please." No, we don't care. We don't need to know necessarily in this kind of story who's fucking who. We
Mhm.
don't care. Not fucking important. We don't need to know who the actors in real life are fucking. We don't need to know who Leslie Headlamp is having sex with. We don't need the self inserts. We need a good story. You don't hire people based on their ability or their body of work that shows that they're qualified to write these stories. You hire them based on immutable characteristics because you're shitty fucking racist assholes. And that's all that it is.
While Disney did make some decisions that caused legitimate controversy within the Star Wars fandom, such as removing the beloved Legends continuity from canon. Wait a minute, whoa. This person just wrote some bullshit about how certain cliches like that were outdated, but then wrote that Disney should be criticized for taking out stuff that people
They
liked.
don't make any sense, dude. You're trying to
Doesn't
make
make any
sense out of
sense at
it.
all.
Don't make sense. Yeah, they don't
Many
make sense. You're
alleged
not trying to make
controversies
sense.
of this time period unfolded because problematic Star Wars viewers. Oh, okay. So if you criticize Disney, you're a problematic Star Wars viewer. Okay, your fucking opinion
Yup.
means work. Your opinion means nothing to me. Bullshit.
Yup.
Star Wars viewers chose outrage over trying to understand change. No. That's not what that is. That is so beyond stupid.
Agreed.
They wanted people to base.
And
Good lord, how do I explain this? They basically wanted you to just eat shit and just basically say it's like steak. That's literally what they wanted, honestly.
so steaky. So shitty.
The
Delicious.
narrative quality of Disney's sequel trilogy aside, the movie's progressive decision to hire Daisy Ridley as Rey and John Boyega as Finn marked important firsts for the franchise's leads. First of all, Daisy, if anyone felt Daisy Ridley and switched at birth, she was not really that good of an actor in general. I don't really know people say she's good. She's like
No.
okay. She's like
Just
like
meh.
a C minus D plus actress, if I'm being honest. John
Yeah,
Boyega,
she's
I've not
meh.
really seen him in anything outside of like Star Wars. And I'll be honest with you guys, people were not criticizing Daisy Ridley and John Boyega over their race. They were criticizing the bad characterizations of them. Okay, do you want the differences? I'm not criticizing you, the person. I'm criticizing your acting skills. Her character stinks. His character. Okay, I'll do John Boyega's character, for example, and let's just end this. The only thing that is talked about amongst his character is what Disney could have did with this character. Not what his character did in the movies, it's what they could have maybe have done with him is the only thing people even talk about with his character. His character stinks in every movie. Her character is garbage. No one talks about Oscar Isaac's character because you know why? He just sucks in every one of those fucking movies. He's just complete trash. The ghetto version of fucking Han Solo that Oscar Isaac was, nobody gives a fuck about his character in these movies. They only talk about Daisy Ridley and John Boyega because they were the only things people even bothered mentioning. Keep in mind, they casted Oscar fucking Isaac a part of their trio, and nobody cared about his character at all. His character is beyond
Nope.
useless and trash in each movie. And people say, well,
Yup.
you can't really blame her because, like, she didn't want to lose her job. People, they signed her to 3 films, okay? She can't get out of the contract unless they were just willing to pay her, right? Out of her contract. She's not a good actress. I really don't like people keep saying, well, she didn't really get good material.
Nope.
She's not good. Daisy really is not a good actress. I'm sorry. She herself is not good.
Yeah.
Okay? Better material can't work with her because she's not good in general. She's just not a good actress. I don't know why people keep. There's no defending her character. Her character sucks in the movies, and her acting is not good. Those criticisms were very fair and valid. Yet, these casting
Yep.
decisions also resulted in constant online harassment for both actors in the aftermath of the performances, with many detractors. What are they, Air July haters? Or what the fuck?
Yes.
Trying to drag Star Wars back to a less inclusive past. Nobody cares about inclusivity. How would I phrase this for this video? Okay. When inclusion was done in Star Wars back in the day. It was just natural, and it wasn't done for like, hey, I'm putting a black guy here because I'm trying to make a social statement. That person is there because it's either based off probably nepotism if we're speaking of Hollywood, or if it's actually based off merit. No one wants inclusivity. Anytime any movie franchise mentions inclusivity bullshit, I just go like, man, I just roll my eyes. All right, get the fuck out of here. Flash forward to The Last Jedi's release in 2017, and this online hate reached a fever pitch. Kelly Marie Tran's heartwarming performance as she stunk. Her character is trash. What are you talking about? Her character is
she was
garbage.
annoying as hell. And it had nothing to do with her race or anything like that, or him being her, whatever the fuck it is.
I identify as trans.
Whatever. No, she's not a good actor. Her character wasn't compelling.
None of them are.
She may be a nice person. I hear she's a very nice person and everything, and that's great. That's fine. But the acting in it was not good. It wasn't interesting. But moreover, maybe, and this could be the crossover. The character that she was given was annoying. Was written as annoying. Was written as uninteresting. That's how what she had to say in the movie came off. Is completely disinteresting. So I'm sure she's probably a very nice person. I don't know her. I don't care. I generally think most Hollywood people are just scumbag jackoffs. So who the hell really knows? I have no clue about her as a person. What I know is what I saw on the screen. What I saw on the screen wasn't compelling, wasn't interesting. It was annoying and made me even. It broke me out of the movie. When I have to deal with a character that's unintentionally as unintentionally as annoying as she is in that movie, it takes me out of it. It makes me less interested.
Yep.
I mean, and Last Jedi had a lot already going wrong with it.
Yeah. She was just like the icing on the cake. That movie's dog shit for many different reasons. Yep. Drew the ire of racist internet horde. So I don't know people going like, they're not calling us racist. You're just projecting that. No, he literally called you a bunch of racist internet horde right here. I'm not making this up. This is his words. Okay. Causing Tran to quit Instagram in order to look out for her mental health. Disney admittedly did not handle the backlash well. Not only did the final film in the sequel trilogy, 2019's Rise of Skywalker, greatly reduce Rose's screen time, but the brief lesbian kiss featured in the background at the very end of the movie felt disappointing for audience members who waited so long for sincere queer storylines. Yeah, like all two of them motherfuckers. Yeah, great. Yeah. And Rise of Skywalker's already, like I said before, had a lot of issues going with it in general. That was nothing compared to the other amounts of horse shit they've done before. In this instance, it felt like the most vocal opponents of the sequel's central performances had won. Oh my god. Thank God this is almost over. I'm about to have a stroke. Thankfully, the most recent installments in the Star Wars universe have built upon the franchise's contemporary legacy by including more representative storylines in an age of digital hate. The lesbian relationship between... Who gives a fuck? Well, about that shit. In Andor marks an important step for lettuce, bacon, tomato inclusion in Star Wars, as does the relationship between Osha and May's mothers in the Acolyte. Yeah, two lesbians who can birth. So fucking weird. Yeah, because this is what people are trying to watch Star Wars for. Lesbians. Yeah, that's really what people are watching Star Wars for, is just two girls scissoring.
It is.
What?
You didn't know that?
Anna, that Star Wars girl, made the best comment for this. I love lesbians. I love watching lesbian porn. That shit is fire. If you care about lesbians that much, Disney, I'm being honest. If you care about lesbians that much, go and make porn. You can just see girls doing it all the time. I'm not even trying to be a degenerate. If you really like porn that much, I love porn myself. I'm a porn connoisseur. Go make porn. If that's what you want. Go for it. You might actually make better content out of that than what you're fucking doing right here. Likewise, Kelly Marie Tran's 2018 article in the New York Times demonstrates that performers can reclaim their stories by publicly disavowing those who only have the courage to tear others down in private, providing an inspiring example of how actors can stand up to Star Wars' most toxic audience members. If you criticize any of Disney's Star Wars, you're toxic. As the bigoted campaigns.
The bigot campaign. Starting Bigot 24.
Starring the bigots.
Bigot.
The bigot campaigns. As the bigoted campaigns against Obi-Wan Kenobi's Moses Ingram. Whoa. That is not how that happened. The Star Wars account, the official one with millions of followers on it, tweeted this out. I'm not kidding you. There are like so many galaxies in the universe don't choose to be racist. What? Gee, I'm so glad I needed the official Star Wars account to tell me what to not be racist. Fucking
I
crazy.
wouldn't have known. I'm glad somebody finally fucking said something. I was so confused.
Like, I'm so glad I needed Star Wars, the Twitter account, to tell me to not be a racist.
Now you
Color
know.
me shocked.
Knowing is half the battle. Racism is barrier. Stop being a racisms.
And the Acolyte prove Star Wars' online hate isn't going away anytime soon. He's just basically trying to say, if you criticize anything Disney Star Wars related, you're in an online hate bigoted group. Therefore, it's up to Star Wars creatives to boldly navigate the turbulent waters of the beloved franchise's fandom. In a recent interview with the New York Times, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy herself acknowledged that women in Star Wars are often subject to audience attacks because of the franchise's vocal male fan base. Yeah, you're so surprised that there's more males in Star Wars than women. Color me shocked. As well as espousing her belief that storytelling needs to be representative of all people. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It is not. What a shit crock bullshit statement that is.
Very much so.
This is stupid. This sentiment echoes the similar views of both headline and director Sharmeen Oboy-Chinoy, who is set to helm Star Wars' upcoming Rey solo movie. Oh, I can already see the bullshit coming with that one from a long mile away, actually. In an interview with Variety, Chinoy expressed her appreciation for the franchise's passionate fan base, but she also acknowledged it's best for her to drown out those voices in order to tell her stories. Basically, anyone that doesn't like her ideas, she drowns them out. This delicate balance between creating Star Wars content and maneuvering around its most toxic elements, highlighting one of the most difficult struggles facing the franchise today. The most vocal viewers of the franchise wield the power of the internet in order to push a bigoted agenda that originates from the prejudices of an earlier time. There weren't prejudices. People just were normal back then and didn't fucking have sexuality be their entire character. That's what happened. They made movies back then, presumably, just because they cared about making movies. While mainstream Star Wars content has grown to produce meaningful narratives, yeah, sure they have. Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett, really meaningful narratives going on in those great pieces of cinema. While being bogged down by hate in the background, opinions about Star Wars have grown so loud because both sides are vying for rhetorical victory. But at the end of the day, these controversies are unnecessary. True fans understand the Star Wars universe is a sci-fi wonderland where anything can happen and anyone belongs, and the future looks bright for those who have already opened their minds to the compassion that all audience members should have learned a long time ago. Yeah, no. This is by far and away one of the worst fucking written articles I've ever read in my life. This is pure dog shit. All right, so this is the worst thing I've probably... There's not enough words to describe what I just read there. Thank God this next topic we're going to go to after this video is going to be way better, because that was trash. I'll ask you, man, what are your closing thoughts on reading that? I don't even know where to start, honestly.
That whole article was a bunch of bullshit. That's just meant to gaslight people like they always are. It doesn't mean anything at all. It's inconsistent throughout constantly. You can bitch about the fans all you want. Then we'll, here, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll stop watching because it's shit and we don't like it. And those who've spent the money and time to sit there and watch it, have a right to criticize it. So fuck off. No one gives a shit about your stupid little bullshit self-masturbatory article that only made you feel better. It got you likes and clicks. I mean, that article is literally fucking what was the old clickbaity website that died?
The Onion,
Shit.
I think.
Huffington Post. No, worse than the Huffington
Oh,
Post.
oh my God! It's the W one. We got this covered.
Yes.
It was
No,
that
not
one.
we got this covered. A different one. What was the one? Fuck, I'm gonna look it up. Now, 'cause
Oh
I know it's
my
dead.
God! I know what you're talking about. Oh my goodness! They ran out of business this year. It started with a B, right? BuzzFeed.
Yes, BuzzFeed. Yes, that was a fucking BuzzFeed article. Like, I should see that article with like 500 fucking blinking ads around it, and like constant scrolling banners, and like the self-loading pictures and music through the whole article. That's the level of quality that article had. It was trash. This guy apparently blew the right person after getting fired from BuzzFeed clickbait polls to write an article that is just dog shit, just a retarded, pointless, self-aggrandizing, idiotic fucking explanation of the exact opposite of the scenario. Like, he's very frustrated with the fact that fans aren't going to watch, so he does. Like, he says, you know what? Hold my beer, Disney. I'll turn it to 11. The blaming of the fans. I won't gaslight them, but when I get the backlash from this, I'm going to say I wasn't blaming you. Fuck this guy. Stop watching it. Everyone, frankly, stop reviewing it. It only really lives now. Like, the reviews that we get are entertaining. I find fun in them. That's fine. But I can live without them. I don't need them anymore. It's dead. Like with Doctor Who, that they occasionally talk about. I get it. It gets a lot of money. But if you really want to let it die, stop talking about it, because the only things that stay alive are the things that people are talking about. And if we stop talking about Star Wars, then it dies. It's gone.
Yeah, but then after that, they also blame the fans too. Like, well, the fans let it die, and it's like, I don't understand why they keep.
They wanted us to.
They have these access media people, or these people that write the articles for the access media. They want to get down on their knees for Hollywood so bad that they themselves are the ones like constantly blaming fans. And let's be honest, you guys. I know Hollywood themselves aren't writing articles like this, but you can tell they endorse these kind of companies because they allow them to come to their events and stuff like that. So it's not like Hollywood's innocent. These access media companies blaming the fans do more harm than good. What we just read there was the biggest crock of bullshit. Well, we'll start at one of those points he made that was really stupid. He said the original movies were made for the time period that they were in, and they perpetuated stereotypes for blah, 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 blah. When in reality, why do you think, I'll ask you guys, why do you think people liked movies back then more? Not all of them are good. There's a lot of dog shit that came out. People liked it because even in the worst movies, you could feel there was some sort of like heart and love there. They weren't trying to shove something down your throat. They weren't trying to like perpetuate a message to you or anything. Even if it wasn't stereotypes, who cares? It doesn't mean anything. That's nonsense. The other part that I just mentioned there. What people felt and cared about was that they felt like they got a good product. It's all that mattered, right? It felt like back then people cared about making good products more, not like social statements. And the other part where it's about diversity and all sort of stuff, and it's like, I'm sorry, people don't want like lettuce, bacon, tomato stuff in their media. I'm sorry, people don't want that because first of all, I'm saying it's degenerate. I don't really care. It's mostly like the tea stuff that I just don't give. I just draw the line at. But I'm sorry that majority of straight people don't want lettuce people in their fucking media. I'm sorry. I mean, unless they're written well. If they're written like they don't have the sexuality all based around them, then it's fine. But that's not how it always goes anyway. It's always based around who they're having sex with. If it was flipped and it wasn't the other way, it'd be fine. But it's not. It never is. It's very rare that happens anyway. You know?
You can't make a good character whose every personality trait revolves around where they put their genitals. Facts.
Well, guys, that is
fact boners.
Just the access media attacking Star Wars fans once again. Remember, you're the problem. You're bigots. You have hate filled in your heart. And you just can't understand that there's gay people that exist in 2024. Stupid. Fucking so trash.
Racist.
Well,
white people.
Are the white people in the room with you?
Coming for you. The white people are in the room with you.
Unless you're making a point. Yeah, true. Well, all right, guys. Just make sure to understand if the white people are in the room with you. If you guys want to check out Professor Savage Dad's Twitter and YouTube channel, I'll leave it linked in the description box below. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King.